Is like end time breaking news. This is absolutely incredible.
This could be the start of the 7-year tribulation.
I mean, literally, are you kidding me? I mean, this is incredible.
He's close. We're in the end times right now.
COP28 meeting, which is the Sustainable Development Garbage meeting, about how they have a 7-year plan to end in 2030 to literally create their form of utopia on the earth by taking massive total control over everyone on the earth. This is a 7-year plan. We thought they signed it in September. They have a more important meeting to kick it in action on December 12th.
COP28 will be a milestone moment when the world will take stock of its progress on the Paris Agreement and strengthen international cooperation for the next 7 years to achieve their goals by the end of 2030.
Are you serious? I mean, literally, are you kidding me? I mean, this is incredible, and peace and safety and security are all the words they use. I really think this is it, folks. I think this is it.
This could be the start of the 7-year tribulation. A lot of people have put their time and energy into figuring it out, you know, going back to Noah's Ark and this and that, and a lot of them, boy, with the numbers coming up and everything, make a lot of sense. But how much easier would it be to figure out the start of the 7-year tribulation to the end? Because it'll be advertised, it'll be a signing, it'll be all nations of the world will agree on this pact, on this agreement. Well, it's coming up now. This is all eyes on this COP28. All eyes on this COP28. And a lot of people have figured the math out. You know, Jesus died on the cross in 30 AD. Add 2,000 years for the age of grace, for the days of grace, would be 2030. The United Nations uses 2030 as that day, that year. And then if Jesus comes back on that year, on the Mount of Olives, in 7 years before, we're not subject to God's wrath.
And then the UN states, with just 7 years left to achieve the 2030 agenda, we believe the SDGs remain our best chance to spread peace, prosperity, security, and human rights to all corners of the world.
Right. So when they say peace and security, as the Bible predicted.
That's right as the Bible predicted. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. You have a covenant confirmed in Daniel 9:27. J. Bear highlighted the need to strike a balance between passion and realism in order for us to deliver a true, pragmatic, progressive, practical deal at COP28. So we know there's a huge deal being produced at this event. Final negotiations for this event is December 11th through the 12th. So they have to have a deal done by the 12th.
This could be the start of the 7-year tribulation.
There's 10 mandates or 10 principles per year that are going to be added by King Charles in the next 7 years.
Right, and the mandates are not only going to be about water, but different areas.
So we have that declaration, and then we have the plot thickens at the UN General Assembly to strengthen the goals ahead of COP28. And Britain is about to take over the world affairs, and we are called to deliver the SDGs at halftime. So we're at the halftime right now, and so they're trying to strengthen these goals ahead of COP28. And it says, today we seek to promote a British policy and priority, which is above party politics. So this puts King Charles at COP28 because he can go there if this is not a political agenda. At a time when crises are everywhere, but leadership is not. So they're revealing to us that there's no leadership in this. But they got to put a man in place to lead the world on this climate agenda.
Right, and
it's being put in place by Britain.
This could be the start of the 7-year tribulation.
King Charles beckons the world to follow his lead in this green new religion, as he's presented as the climate king. The globalists believe they can create their own version of heaven on earth without the God of the Bible. And this is the greatest deception they dangle in front of the unsuspecting human race. King Charles has his own website in which he outlines 10 actions we must take to drive the green recovery, and that's called the Terra Carta. And anybody can Google that and find out what it's all about. Then they have priorities of the UK. First, we must place ourselves at the center of global health agenda. So the UK is going to be at the center of this global agenda. Next, we will champion open science for global resilience. Britain is a research and science superpower, and they've teamed up with Israel on all this as well.
I was going to say, I'm wondering about that. Wow.
And then third, we will bear down on money laundering and flows of dirty money, which deprive countries of their legitimate tax receipts. So here we have the total control coming. Then it states, I am minded to publish a white paper which will outline our plans for the next 7 years, setting out a long-term direction for the British international development leadership until 2030. It will chart a course that will build on international development strategy, accelerate our determination to deliver on climate change, and galvanize international support to meet the Sustainable Development Goals. We have not a moment to lose. Widely regarded as the godfather of COP. So that COP is Conference of the Parties, which began in 1992 at the Rio de Janeiro Summit, Earth Summit, where he's upon his yacht, they agreed to this movement that we're 30 some years into. His appeal to the Brazilian president at that time was passionate. We are literally the last generations, which we can save the rainforest from total destruction. So Prince Charles back then says, we are the last generation, which we as Christians believe we are the last generation. We're going to see all these things fulfilled.
Right. Because for us, what's exciting is that Jesus is coming back soon. So
yeah.
This could be the start of the 7-year tribulation.
The verse says we must unite and seize the moment. And the world is time bound, and we have 60 trillion in assets managed by the King's SMI. That's huge. So here we go once again. The SMI, these trillions of dollars are controlled by King Charles. In the Bible, we have a 7-year agreement that's coming, and we find that we see today that it's already in play, but it is to be made greater. It's a set time for 7 years, and it includes many, or the many, but Israel is part of that many. And it includes a promise for protection for Israel, which we see in sign of our ecological sins. King Charles declares he will work with the UAE to demonstrate the road is paved with action, and that the SMI is leading the way, delivering on his mandate, the Terra Carta. So this statement alone states that he's going to strengthen this deal. Pope Francis, like I stated before, wants to end the era of fossil fuels, and that the richer nations must pay for the damages done to the poorer nations. It's the same plan as the globalists. The responsibility of ensuring a response with a clear plan of action falls on COP28 presidency, says Dr. Al-J. Berg. So he's the one leading all this with King Charles, who he's collaborating with. He makes a few statements, but the number one statement is that I find significant is how to make sure that no one gets left behind. But when Jesus returns, those that left behind are the wicked. Herzog will participate. So they're participating in nearly every event at COP28. So Israel's playing a huge role in this.
This could be the start of the 7-year tribulation. Those that are watching will know the hour. And when I say hour, I mean the time, the season. He's close. We're in the end times right now.
I really think this is it, folks. I think this is it.